Did you know that Boyz n the Hood, 1991, not only shook Hollywood with its raw portrayal of life in South Central Los Angeles, but also left behind a cast whose real-life journeys ended with tragedy, triumph, and bittersweet farewells? John Singleton's groundbreaking directorial debut was a cultural milestone that introduced the world to Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Morris Chestnut. But as decades have passed, several of the actors who helped make this film unforgettable have died, leaving behind graves, legacies, and stories as haunting as the film itself. Released on July 12, 1991, Boyz n the Hood quickly became more than just a movie. It was a generational wake-up call. Written and directed by Singleton at just 23 years old, the film earned him Academy Award nominations for Best Director and Best Screenplay, making him the youngest person ever nominated in that category and the first African-American filmmaker to receive the honor. The film's exploration of fatherhood, systemic violence, and dreams deferred resonated across America and solidified its place in cinematic history. But while audiences still remember Ricky, Doughboy, and Trey, many of the real actors who brought those characters to life faced untimely ends. While we've said goodbye to many, a number of Boyz n the Hood cast members remain alive and continue to carry its legacy. Cuba Gooding Jr., Trey Styles, now 56, went on to win an Academy Award for Jerry Maguire and continues to work in film and television. Ice Cube, Doughboy, at 56, transitioned into one of the most successful rappers-turned-actors, building a massive basketball league empire. Morris Chestnut, Ricky, now 56, remains a fan favorite in both TV and film. Angela Bassett, Reva Stiles, at 66, has become one of the most respected actresses in Hollywood, earning numerous accolades. Lawrence Fishburne, Furious Styles, now 64, is regarded as one of the greatest actors of his generation, with iconic roles in The Matrix, What's Love Got to Do with It, and Blackish. Regina King, Shalika, 54, has transformed into one of Hollywood's most powerful forces, winning Oscars, Emmys, and directing critically acclaimed projects. Nia Long, Brandy, 54, remains active in film and television, and Tyra Farrell, Brenda Baker, 61, continues to act and mentor young performers. These surviving cast members keep the torch burning, ensuring that Boyz n the Hood is never forgotten. 1. No story of Boyz n the Hood can begin without John Singleton, the man who made it all possible. Born January 6, 1968 in Los Angeles, Singleton was a USC film student when he penned the script that would change Hollywood. At just 23, he became the youngest and first black director ever nominated for an Academy Award. On April 17, 2019, Singleton suffered a major stroke after checking himself into Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles for weakness in his leg. He never regained consciousness and was placed on life support. On April 28, 2019, his family made the heartbreaking decision to remove him, and he died at just 51 years old. His official cause of death was complications from a stroke. Singleton was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles. 2. Lloyd Avery II's name may not be as well known as Cuba Gooding Jr. or Ice Cube, but Boyz n the Hood fans will never forget him. Born June 21, 1969 in Los Angeles, Avery played the menacing blood gang member who murdered Ricky, Morris Chestnut, in the film's most heartbreaking scene. His chilling performance became one of the most iconic villain roles in early 90s cinema. Tragically, Avery's real life spiraled into crime and violence. In 2001, he was convicted of a double homicide after a shooting incident in Los Angeles. Sentenced to life in prison, Avery's story took another dark turn. On September 4, 2005, while incarcerated at Pelican Bay State Prison, he was murdered by his cellmate Kevin Roby, a Satanist who strangled him with shoelaces and mutilated his body. Avery was just 36 years old. He was laid to rest at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Inglewood, California. Fans still shudder at how his on-screen role mirrored the violent world that ultimately consumed him. 3. Daedric D. Gobert was one of the youngest cast members in Boyz and the Hood. Born November 19, 1971, he played Dookie, the friend of Doughboy, Ice Cube, known for always having a pacifier in his mouth. Gobert's youthful energy and natural screen presence made him a fan favorite. Sadly, his promising career never had the chance to blossom. On November 19, 1994, his 23rd birthday, Gobert was shot and killed during a gang-related altercation in Mira Loma, California. Reports indicate that he was attending an illegal street race when an argument escalated into gunfire. Gobert was fatally shot, and his girlfriend was also killed in the incident. He was just 23 years old. Gobert is buried at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California. His death shocked fans, as his life imitated the very violence depicted in Boyz n the Hood. 4. Lexi Bigham was another rising star from the film. Born August 4, 1968, Bigham portrayed Mad Dog, one of Doughboy's close friends. After Boyz n the Hood, he went on to appear in several television shows and films, including C7 South Central and Seinfeld. On December 17, 1995, at the age of 27, Bigham died in a car accident in Los Angeles. His sudden passing stunned his colleagues and fans alike. He is buried at Burr Oak Cemetery in Alsip, Illinois. Though his life was brief, his roles left an impression in Hollywood. 5. Esther Scott, born April 13, 1953, played a neighborhood mother in Boyz n the Hood, adding realism and authenticity to the community scenes. A veteran actress, Scott's career spanned decades, with appearances in Dreamgirls, The Gina Davis Show, and Heart of Dixie. Scott passed away on February 14, 2020. At the age of 66 after suffering a massive heart attack at her home in Santa Monica, California. Her family confirmed she was surrounded by loved ones in her final moments. She is buried at Inglewood Park Cemetery. Fans and colleagues remembered her as a nurturing presence both on and off screen. 6. Whitman Mayo, though best known as Grady from Sanford and Son, appeared in Boyz n the Hood as an elderly neighbor who embodied wisdom and resilience. Born November 15, 1930, Mayo's humor and warmth enriched every role he played. On May 22, 2001, Mayo died of a heart attack at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, at the age of 70. He is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Garden in South Fulton, Georgia. His death was a significant loss to fans who had grown up watching his comedic brilliance. 7. Jesse Lawrence Ferguson played the infamous black police officer in Boyz n the Hood, whose antagonistic and racist behavior toward young black men left audiences seething. Born June 8, 1941, Ferguson's performance was unforgettable, embodying a corrupt system that Singleton wanted to expose. Ferguson died in his sleep on April 26, 2019, in Palmdale, California, at the age of 77. The cause was natural causes. He was cremated, and his ashes were returned to his family. 8. Raymond D. Turner, a talented supporting actor, appeared in Boyz n the Hood as one of the neighborhood residents. Though not a lead, his presence added realism to the film. Born in 1946, Turner worked in small film and television roles throughout the 1980s and 1990s. He passed away in 2008 at the age of 62, though details of his death and burial site remain relatively private. Fans of the film remember him as part of the fabric of Singleton's masterpiece. Boyz n the Hood is more than a movie. It's a cultural landmark. While we've said farewell to these legends, but their contributions remain eternal. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more journeys into the real lives of the stars who shaped our culture.